Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead over at the Candy Corn Cabin. We are in the process of putting in our gray water. What I have beside me here, this is our grow pots that we grow in, our containers, and beside it lays a piece of 25-foot 6-inch sock pipe. Now what we're going to be doing is taking this 25-foot piece of 6-inch sock pipe and burying it deep in the ground. And on the end of it here, we're going to use a 6-inch to 4-inch adapter, and then a 2-inch adapter onto that. And from the house, we're going to be running a 2-inch line out to the end of this here. At the end of the sock pipe down here, we have two 55-gallon drums cut in half. We're going to be making a culvert type system out of it with gravel underneath it for our final part of the gray water drain system. So we're going to take you along on this journey. I'm going to do this with a tractor, and hopefully we can get it all dug and get it put in before the bad rains come, and we'll be able to have this where we can use it. So, okay, I'm going to give a little bit of an explanation as to why we're putting it right here. We're putting it right next to our grow pots here, because I'm in the process, as you've seen on one of my previous videos that I've done, I think it was Porch Time, I talked about I was going to be putting in some raised bed type hotbeds for us to grow a lot of our plants in this year. Our thinking is, because the gray water is going to be all just natural water, it's not going to have any chemicals in it whatsoever, we're going to put that underneath our hotbeds. That way the water that's running into the ground here, the roots from the plants will be able to go down and to utilize this gray water underneath our hotbeds that we're going to put here to grow our transplants in. So that's the purpose and the reason behind doing it the way in which we're doing it now. So I'm hoping that this works out for us good this year. That way it will actually save us from having to do a ton of watering in these beds. Now we'll still have to do some watering, but once the plants get going, they should be able to reach down to where this 6-inch pipe is here, because the ground should be wet in there, and they should be able to pull plenty of moisture without us having to run any extra water into the hotbeds. Okay, now that we have our ditch system dug for our gray water system here, you can see I'm walking down through here. This is the part down here where we're going to be installing those half barrels turned upside down with gravel and sand all down in the bottom here. This is the sock pipe laying right next to it right here. This sock pipe will be laid down in this trench, coming all the way up to here. And on this end, we'll be tying into a 2-inch pipe into the end of the 6-inch pipe, and we'll be cutting all the way across, going to the cabin eventually. But right now, we're just trying to get this system in before the rain actually gets in here. And I think we're almost there, guys. We're working on it, so stay with us. Okay, guys, now you can see we stuck a piece of plywood at the end of the pipe so that we'll know where it's at in the dirt. We have our sand and rocks completely covering the pipe now, deep in the ground. We've got this end sticking out here. Now we're fixing to fill this full of sand and rocks. And then once we do that, we'll cut those pieces over yonder and get them installed. Okay, we're at the other end now, where the half barrels go. We've got about 8 inches of sand and rock mixture here. The next thing is to go cut the barrels. We're going to cut a half moon in the end of each barrel so that they fit over the pipe, and we'll kind of show you that as we go along. We're going to fasten these barrels together, I believe, for a little bit more stability. Okay, we've taken our barrels now and we've cut them with the U-shapes out of them. You see all of them but the first one. The first one here will be where the piece of pipe like this installs into it that keeps dirt from getting down in it. All the rest of them have half moons cut out of them except the last one. The last one does not, because that is the end and we don't want dirt coming back in it, so that one will be closed off. So we're fixing to start putting these together to go into the hole, and we're going to screw them together, and we'll show you a couple of them screwed together once we get them put together. Okay guys, we took a couple of roofing screws, like we put metal roofing on, and we screwed these things together. That way it makes them a little bit more rigid when you're handling it, and they don't move up and down in the ground once you're putting dirt over them. So that's the way we're installing them. Now we're going to take these over to the hole, and then we'll connect the other two to the end of it and show you what the finished product looks like. Okay, we've got the barrel with the hole on the end of it stuck through the pipe, and as you see, we have them all fastened together down through here. And we actually have some area at the end. I went ahead and made it a little larger than I should have, because I figure a little bit more drain area is not going to hurt anything. So now we're fixing to take on the task of actually flipping this long thing over and trying to get it squared up and set down. So we'll show you that as we do it. Now, don't touch that barrel.
Okay.
I want to go this way.
I'm gonna go that way. Legs in the way. Okay, stay down.
comes the next phase.
All right, what's the next phase?
Felt. Alright guys, I'm going to be putting felt over the top of this, lapping it over. That way where these joints are at, there's no chance of dirt filtering down through it that way and getting inside and maybe filling it up with dirt on the inside and stopping it up. So I'm going to be cutting the felt. This is the way we're going to do it. All the way to the end. We'll get it all covered up with felt, and then we're going to put the dirt on top of it. Okay guys, you notice I'm getting dirt from two different sides of the pile. This side of the pile over here is all clay. When I dug this all out, I separated my dirt as I was digging. This side is the good topsoil. The latter part of the system that you saw me put in down there, I put all clay over the tops of the drums because that's what I wanted over that. The first part of this pipe up here that I put down, the sock pipe, is where our hotbeds are going to go. So I'm going to be putting topsoil back over the top of that. And then when we build our hotbeds over it, we'll be adding even more topsoil into that. And hopefully the water system going through underneath the hotbeds will also help to keep the ground moist and grow the plants a little bit better maybe throughout the winter time. So if you see me going to two different sides of the pile, they are putting two different colored dirts in two different places. You'll understand. You can tell the difference in the colors of the dirt when you look down here better than you can up here in the pile, because these are side by side and they get mixed up a little bit. But down here you can definitely see the difference in the colors of the dirt, and you'll be able to tell what I'm talking about. Alright, I've got it all finished up here. You can see I've leveled out everything to the side here where we got good working area when we build our beds and stuff like this. This will later become part of the garden, but right now I need area to work. We've got the dirt mounded up a little bit on both ends. This will be the raised bed part like I talked about. The other end will be foot traffic only, nothing running over it. We'll just let grass grow over it or whatever. But I'm ready now to tie from here to my cabin with my 2-inch pipe. I got to get some fittings to put on it so that I can hook it up. And when we get the fittings and I get the ditch dug across here, we'll show you running the 2-inch line underneath the cabin. And the bathtub and the vanity in the bathroom is the only thing that'll be running into this. Everything else, the kitchen sink will be going into the septic because that's code. And the toilet will be going into septic, that's code. So we're going to try to make sure we do it all the way it's supposed to be done. But when we get to the other section, guys, we'll show you actually tying it in to the cabin. So this completes our section of installing the gray water for our cabin to this point. So thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.